This fake case was brought only to interfere with the upcoming 2024 election, and it should be dropped immediately.
Former President Trump reacting last night to the historic charges against him. He pleaded not guilty to falsifying business records to hide damaging information before the 2016 election.
Legal experts say the indictment raises issues that could provide openings for the defense. I spoke earlier with Lance Fletcher, a former prosecutor in the Manhattan DA's office. Let's get to the heart of this case. Falsifying business records is a misdemeanor in New York, unless it's to further another crime. Then it's a felony. Walk us through what you think makes this a felony case in the eyes of the district attorney. Manhattan DA Bragg is being pretty vague here.
Right. Well, part of that is when you have an indictment and you're charging somebody, you want to set forth as few facts and a little information as you can. You want just the bare bones of the accusations at this early stage. DA Bragg has handled this kind of case before. He didn't find clearly any legal obligation to be clear about what that other crime is. It wasn't pled in the indictment. I suspect, though, that is something that will have to be disclosed down the road.
And some of the new evidence that the DA claims he has in this case, will we have to wait until a trial to hear some of that?
I don't think we'll have to wait that long. The prosecutor can surprise you at the trial with evidence that you weren't expecting or anticipating. But instead, that has to be turned over well in advance of trial. So I think we're going to find out what that is, if anything, in the months to come.
And the big question, what's next? We expect Trump's lawyers to file a motion to dismiss. He may not even be back in court until December.
There are going to be important questions here. For example, if this was a misdemeanor falsification of business records, we're talking about a 2-year statute of limitations. It's a felony, and so that makes it a 5-year statute of limitations. This is conduct that apparently happened back in 2016. The statute of limitations is going to be a big issue. There are going to be other issues regarding venue. The Trump team might try to move this trial to a different place that has basically different politics or different media coverage.
And Lance, you worked in the Manhattan DA's office. I'm curious, want to get your insights. Critics say this case against Trump is all political. And when you consider millions of taxpayer dollars will be spent on this untested legal case, is it really worth bringing it forward for any reason other than politics?
I think the question here is going to be, would they have gone after a high-profile Democrat in this situation? But the Manhattan District Attorney's Office has, in the past, had no problem prosecuting high-profile, high-ranking Democrats in the past with serious prosecutions.
And Lance, a lot's being made about the judge in this case. What can you tell us? Is there any history there between the president and the judge in this case?
I've had personal experience with Judge Merchan. I had a trial where it was a bench trial, so he decided all the facts in the case. So instead of having a jury, both the decisions of law and the decisions of fact were handled by him. And I found him to be a very, very competent, friendly, approachable judge. Some judges, if you're making an argument that they disagree with, will kind of quickly shoo you along or not really listen to it. But he was very, very open-minded and will listen to any argument that was brought to him. So it was always a pleasure to deal with him in that case and on other matters later. And so I think that, in terms of the judge that they have, I think they have a very fair, tough, but a fair judge.
Our thanks there to Lance Fletcher.